Lena Harris stepped through the heavy doors of Ridgewood High, her backpack heavy with books and the weight of yet another new beginning. As a black girl in a mostly white suburb, she was used to the stares and the whispers that followed her like shadows. Her family moved often because her dad was a retired Special Forces operative who now consulted for security firms, and he had been teaching her karate since she was 5 years old. Discipline isn't just about fighting, he'd say during their grueling sessions in whatever backyard they called home. It's about knowing when to strike. The hallways buzzed with the usual morning chaos, with lockers slamming and laughter echoing and groups forming like packs. Lena kept her head high, scanning for her first class, and that's when she heard it, a voice dripping with mockery. "Hey, new girl, you lost or something?" Alex Thompson leaned against a locker, his football jersey stretched over broad shoulders, flanked by his crew Mike, the wiry one with a perpetual smirk, Kyle built like a tank, and Sarah, the cheerleader who amplified their cruelty with sharp words. Lena turned, meeting Alex's gaze steadily. "Just heading to class, no trouble here." Alex pushed off the locker. Sauntering closer, his friends snickered. "Oh, we've got trouble all right. You're the exotic import right from the city. We don't get many like you around here." His eyes raked over her, making her skin crawl. "Traditional town, you know, folks stick to their own." Lena's jaw tightened. She'd heard this before, coded words masking unkind intentions, but she wasn't here to fight on day one. "I'm Lena, and I'm just trying to get by." Feisty Alex grinned, extending a hand she ignored. "I'm Alex, king of this castle. My dad's the mayor, practically owns the place. Stick with me and you'll fit in just fine." His friends laughed louder. Lena tried to walk past, but Alex blocked her path, his arm brushing hers intentionally. "Come on, don't be rude. I'm offering protection. This school can be rough for outsiders." "I don't need protection," Lena replied coolly, stepping around him as she passed one of his friends, muttered, "She's gonna learn the hard way." The day dragged on with subtle jabs, notes passed in class, calling her name, stares in the cafeteria, whispers about the new black girl thinking she's special. By afternoon, Alex was waiting at her locker. "Missed me," he said, holding an apple. "Brought you a snack. Figured you'd like something from the jungle." Lena slammed her locker back off. He followed her down the hall. "You know, most girls would kill for my attention. But you playing hard to get cute." In the parking lot after school, it escalated. Alex and his gang surrounded her by her beat-up sedan, nice wheels. "Daddy couldn't afford better. Move." Lena said, voice low. Alex laughed then, his hand shot out, slapping her cheek hard. The sting echoed, his friends cheering. "That's for ignoring me, sweetheart. Learn your place." Lena's vision blurred with rage, but years of training kicked in. She didn't react immediately. Instead, she touched her cheek, eyes narrowing. "Big mistake." Alex smirked. "Or what, gonna cry to the principal? My dad's golf buddies with him." As they walked away laughing, Lena got in her car, heart pounding. That night she trained harder in the garage. Her father's words ringing, never started but always ended. She knew this was just the beginning. The harassment intensified over the next week. Alex appeared everywhere, bumping her in halls, accidental touches, unkind slurs, disguised as jokes. Lena reported it to the counselor, Miss Ellis, who dismissed it. "Alex is a star player, probably just flirting. Be open-minded." Frustrated, Lena noticed others suffering too. A shy Asian kid Tim shoved into lockers, Maria, a Latina girl, cornered in the bathroom. They avoided eye contact, resigned to the torment. One afternoon, Alex cornered Lena alone in the gym storage room. Time to apologize for being uppity. He grabbed her arm, twisting it. Lena broke free with a swift block, her karate form flawless. "Touch me again and you'll regret it." He laughed, shoving her against the wall, but Lena countered, sweeping his leg and sending him sprawling. "What the bro?" She stood over him. "I warned you," as he scrambled up, furious. Lena walked out, knowing the spark had ignited a fire. And word spread, the new girl fought back. Alex, humiliated, plotted revenge with his gang. Lena, meanwhile, confided in her dad, who advised building allies. One fighter can win a battle, but an army wins the war. By week's end, Lena approached Tim in the library. "I've seen what they do to you. We don't have to take it." Tim hesitated. "They're untouchable." "Not anymore," Lena said. Their first alliance formed, setting the stage for resistance. As the days blurred into a tense standoff, Lena found herself reflecting on her past moves. Each new school brought similar challenges, but this time felt different, perhaps because of the slap that crossed a line, or maybe because she sensed a deeper undercurrent of unfairness woven into the fabric of Ridgewood High, where privilege shielded the wrongdoers and silenced the rest. She spent evenings jotting notes on her encounters, timing Alex's patterns and identifying weak points in his group's dynamics. Mike was the instigator, quick with words, but slow in action. Kyle the muscle, but predictable in his brute approach is Sarah, the amplifier, using social leverage to isolate targets. Lena's dad joined her for strategy sessions over dinner, mapping out scenarios on napkins. If they corner you here, use the environment lockers for covered doors for escape, always have an exit. Her mom worried you're strong, but schools like this can break spirits in other ways. Promise me you'll stay smart about it. Lena promised, focusing on gathering more intel. Tim proved invaluable, sharing stories from previous years, how Alex's dad had hushed up incidents involving his son, from stolen items to forced apologies, all swept under the rug with donations to the school fund. Maria joined next after Lena intervened in a hallway shove, standing between her and Sarah's taunts. Enough is enough, back off. Maria's eyes widened. You stood up to them. Someone has to, Lena replied. And that evening, under the dim lights of the park, they shared experiences, Maria revealing how the gang had spread rumors, ruining her friendships. Tim admitting to skip lunches to avoid confrontations. The group grew organically. Jamal overheard a conversation in class and approached Lena quietly. I've been dealing with this too. The names, the pushes, it's endless. Sophie, a girl often labeled as different for her unique style, confided in the library. I've seen you all meeting, can I join? They make my life miserable with their endless mockery. Lena welcomed them all, emphasizing unity. We're not just surviving anymore, we're preparing. The self-defense lessons began in earnest. Lena demonstrating stances that grounded them, palms open for blocks, elbows sharp for counters. Remember, it's not about strength, it's about leverage and surprise. Tim practiced dodges, his agility shining. Maria channeled frustration into kicks that echoed off trees. Jamal focused on grapples, using his height. Sophie on escapes, twisting free from holds. As confidence built, so did the evidence folder. Videos captured discreetly of bumps in halls, audio of whispers, photos of notes past each piece, a brick in their wall of proof. Alex sensed the change. His victims no longer scattered at his approach. Eyes met his with defiance, whispers turned to direct stares. Enraged, he confronted Lena in the cafeteria during lunch. Think you're starting a revolution? I'll crush your little club. Try it, Lena said, surrounded by her allies. The standoff drew the attention of the entire room, students pausing mid-bite to watch, planting seeds of doubt in Alex's followers, who shifted uncomfortably, perhaps questioning their loyalty for the first time. Meanwhile, Lena delved deeper into Alex's power structure with Tim's help. They uncovered old-school forum posts where Alex bragged about his dad's cover-ups, faked grades, hushed scandals. His family's grip on the town goes back generations, Tim said. Corruption runs deep. A teacher, Mr. Vargas, overheard one of their park sessions and approached cautiously. I've wanted to help for years, but 10 years at stake. He offered covert support, access to school records showing a stack of ignored complaints, dating back years, all involving Alex or his circle. Dismissed as misunderstandings or exaggerations, skirmishes began to erupt. Sophie escaped Sarah's verbal assault by recording it on her phone and threatening to share it online. Watch your words or the whole school sees this. Sarah backed off, fuming but wary. Kyle tried grabbing Maria's bag in the hall, but she twisted free with a wristlock. Lena had taught, sending him stumbling into a trash can, drawing laughs from onlookers for once. Alex retaliated by spreading altered photos of Lena online, labeling her as a troublemaker. The school buzzed with rumors isolating her temporarily, students whispering, avoiding her gaze, but her group rallied, countering with their evidence. A folder, sending anonymous tips to local media, hinting at a bigger story brewing beneath the surface of Ridgewood High's polished facade. Lena's home life provided the anchor. She needed her mom, a nurse, bandaged minor bruises from brushes in the halls, while offering words of caution. You're brave, but don't become what you fight her. Dad trained her harder, adding, layers of strategy, anticipate their moves, turn their strength against them. If they come at you with numbers, divide them, create openings. The chapter's pivotal moment arrived during a school pep rally, the gym packed with cheering students. Alex's gang targeted the group en masse, shoving Tim into the crowd. Amid the noise, chaos ensued as Lena's allies fought back. Non-lethally, but effectively. Punches dodged, grabs, broken. Bullies left stunned on the gym floor. Security intervened, suspending Lena's friends for disruption, but letting Alex off with mere warnings, claiming he was just hyped for the event. Fury built among the group as they regrouped that evening. Lena realized documentation alone wasn't enough. They needed a public reckoning to shine light on the shadows. As the chapter drew to a close, the group, now 15 strong, planned their boldest move, yet a school-wide assembly expose, where they'd present their dossier in front of everyone. But Alex, sensing the growing threat, called in favors from his dad's connections, cops, board members, setting up a trap that would test the resistance like never before. The air thick with anticipation, Lena knew the spark had become a flame, ready to illuminate or consume everything in its path. Yet she pressed on, driven by the knowledge that silence had allowed this for too long and change. However, risky was the only way forward for her and all those who had suffered in the quiet corners of Ridgewood High. With the slap still fresh in memory, Lena dove into strategy, realizing she wasn't just defending herself anymore, but unraveling the web of fear Alex had woven through Ridgewood High, her karate skills precise and efficient, honed for real threats rather than flashy displays. But to dismantle his reign, she needed more than physical prowess. She needed allies, evidence, and a plan that turned their isolation into collective strength. Starting small, she mapped the school's underbelly and hidden corners. Like the old bleachers and the unused art room, she met more victims. Tim introduced her to Maria, who shared stories of Alex's gang stealing her things and spreading rumors that chipped away at her confidence. Then came Jamal, a quiet sophomore enduring daily taunts that echoed his own insecurities. And Sophie, ostracized for her unique style. "We've all been alone," Lena told them during their first secret meeting under the stadium seats. "That's how they win, picking us off one by one." Jamal nodded. "But what can we do?" "The teachers ignore it." Lena outlined her plan. "Document everything. Phones out for videos, notes on incidents, a shared online folder anonymous to all evidence. First, then we train." "Train?" Sophie asked, eyes wide. "Self-defense." Lena explained, "Not to attack, but to protect. My dad taught me karate blocks, escapes, strikes that end threats quick." They started sessions after school in an abandoned park nearby. Lena demonstrating basic stance for balance, palm heels to the vulnerable spots. Tim, skinny but quick, learned dodges, his agility shining. Maria channeled her frustration into powerful kicks. Jamal focused on grapples using his height. Sophie on escapes, twisting free from holds. As the group grew to 8, Alex noticed the shift. His victims walked taller, avoided his traps, enraged. He amped up his efforts. One day, his gang ambushed Jamal in the restroom, but Jamal blocked a punch and yelled for help, drawing teachers who for once couldn't ignore the scene, though they downplayed it as roughhousing. Alex confronted Lena in the cafeteria. "I think you're starting a revolution. I'll crush your little club. Try it," Lena said, surrounded by her allies. The standoff drew stares, planting seeds of doubt in the Pausadin. Alex's followers. Meanwhile, Lena dug deeper into Alex's power. Tim, tech-savvy, found old forum posts where Alex bragged about his dad's cover-ups, faked grades, hushed scandals. His family's grip on the town goes back generations. Tim said corruption runs deep. A teacher, Mr. Vargas, overheard a session and offered covert support, access to school records, showing ignored complaints. "I've wanted to help for years, but tenure's at stake," he whispered. Skirmishes erupted. Sophie escaped Sarah's verbal assault by recording it and threatening to post online. Kyle tried grabbing Maria's bag, but she twisted free with a wrist lock, sending him stumbling. Alex retaliated, spreading deepfake photos of Lena, labeling her a troublemaker. The school buzzed, with rumors isolating her temporarily, but her group rallied, countering with their evidence folder, anonymous tips to local media hinting at a bigger story. Lena's home life grounded her. Her mom worried about the risks. "You're brave, but don't become what you fight." Her dad trained her harder, adding strategy. Anticipate their moves, turn their strength against them. The chapter's turning point came during a pep rally. Alex's gang targeted the group en masse, shoving Tim into the crowd. Chaos ensued as Lena's allies fought back non-lethally, but effectively. Punches dodged, grabs, broken. Bullies left stunned on the gym floor. Security intervened, suspending Lena's friends but letting Alex off with warnings. Fury built. Lena realized they needed a public reckoning. As the chapter closed, the group, now 15 strong, planned their boldest move. A school-wide assembly exposed, but Alex, sensing the threat, called in favors from his dad's connections, setting up a trap. Meanwhile, Lena expanded the train, incorporating role-playing scenarios where they simulated confrontations, practicing de-escalation first, before resorting to defense. If words fail, use your skills to create space and escape. She emphasized, never escalate, but always be prepared. The sessions evolved into more than physical drills. They became spaces for sharing, building trust. Maria opened up about how the constant taunts affected her self-worth, making her question her place in the school. Jamal admitted the isolation had led him to skip classes, fearing encounters. Sophie revealed how the mockery had pushed her toward withdrawing from activities she loved. Tim shared his tech hacks not just for evidence but for morale-boosting apps that tracked their progress and celebrated small wins like a successful dodge or a recorded incident. The evidence folder swelled with timestamps, locations, witnesses, each entry a testament to the pattern of behavior that had gone unchecked for too long. Lena coordinated with Mr. Vargas, who provided anonymized copies of past reports, showing a clear bias in how complaints were handled. Those from prominent families dismissed while others faced scrutiny. This fueled their determination, proving it wasn't just personal but systemic. The resistance began influencing the broader student body. Whispers in hallways turned to conversations. Students not directly affected started noticing the changes approaching Lena's group with questions. How do you stand up to them without fear? Lena answered honestly, fear is there, but unity makes it smaller one. Afternoon, a new member joined Liam, a freshman who had been on the fringe watching from afar. I've seen what they do and I want to help. His addition brought fresh energy and ideas like creating coded signals for quick alerts during school hours. A subtle hand gesture or phrase that summoned nearby allies without drawing attention. Alex's side grew restless. His followers Mike and Kyle grumbled about the shifting dynamics Sarah tried to undermine by spreading more rumors, but they fell flat as evidence circulated discreetly, eroding her influence. Alex himself became more erratic, his confrontations laced with desperation. During a study hall, he cornered Sophie alone, but she activated the signal, and within moments Maria and Jamal appeared standing firm. We stick together, Sophie said, voice steady. Alex backed off, muttering threats, but the power dynamic had tilted. Lena reflected on this during a late-night walk. The slap that started it all now felt like a distant catalyst. What mattered was the community they were forging, one that valued protection over dominance. Her parents noticed the change. Her mom preparing extra snacks for the group, meetings her dad offering tactical advice drawn from his operative days, like varying in meeting spots to avoid patterns. The plan for the assembly took shape. They would request a slot under the guise of a diversity presentation, then unveil the evidence, projecting videos and reports on the big screen, inviting questions from the audience to amplify voices that had been silenced. Mr. Vargas agreed to moderate, ensuring it didn't get shut down prematurely. Risks loomed: suspensions, expulsions, even legal repercussions if Alex's dad intervened, but the group voted unanimously forward. We go no. Turning back as tensions simmered, small victories accumulated. Tim hacked a school newsletter to include an anonymous tip line for reports. Maria organized a buddy system for walking halls, reducing isolated incidents. Jamal led discussions on emotional resilience, sharing coping strategies. Sophie designed posters with subtle messages of solidarity hidden in art that dotted the walls without raising alarms. The media tips bore fruit. A local reporter reached out via an anonymous email seeking confirmation. Lena carefully fed details without revealing sources. Building anticipation for the expose, Alex, unaware of the full scope, doubled down on intimidation, attempting to bribe or scare off potential allies, but most rebuffed him, his circle shrinking as doubt crept in. One former follower even defected, slipping Lena a note with insider info on Alex's next move. A planned disruption during lunch to isolate key members forewarned the group, turned it into an opportunity, recording the attempt and adding it to their arsenal. The chapter built toward culmination with Lena addressing the expanded group, now numbering 20 in a larger park clearing. We've come far from hiding in shadows to standing in light. The assembly is our moment to expose not just the actions, but the system that allows them. Remember, we're not seeking revenge but justice, and that starts with truth. As they dispersed under the stars, Lena felt the weight of leadership, but also the lift of shared purpose. The resistance, no longer nascent, but a force poised to reshape Ridgewood High from a place of fear to one of fairness. The trap Alex set loomed unknown, but their preparation, forged in unity, promised resilience against whatever came next. The journey from individual endurance to collective empowerment marked a path that inspired even those on the sidelines to consider joining the cause, ensuring the flame of change burned brighter with each passing day. The powder keg exploded as Lena's resistance pushed for exposure. No longer content with shadows, they aimed for the light, hijacking the student council meeting to present their dossier. Videos of confrontations ignored reports, ties to Alex's family influence, But Alex, forewarned by a mole, struck first. His gang, bolstered by outsiders, older siblings, town acquaintances, ambushed the group in the auditorium prep room. "End this now," Alex snarled, swinging at Lena. She parried, countering with a roundhouse that floored him. Chaos erupted, furniture overturned, shouts echoing. Tim used a fire extinguisher as distraction. Maria tackled Sarah. Jamal held off Kyle with precise strikes. The fight spilled into the halls, drawing the whole school. Fists flew, alliances formed on the fly. Neutral students joining Lena's side, tired of the tyranny. It became a riot. Lockers dented windows, shattered alarms blaring. Police arrived. Summoned by Alex's dad, Lena was arrested amid the debris. Charged with inciting disruption. Alex played victim, his bruises unprovoked, but videos from dozens of phones captured the truth. His aggression first, the trial became a spectacle. Lena's lawyer, a pro bono advocate connected through Mr. Vargas, presented the evidence. Trove witnesses poured in, victims testifying to years of mistreatment, experts on systemic bias, even a defecting gang member admitting the corruption. Alex cracked on the stand, spewing entitlement. This town's mine, outsiders like her ruin everything. His dad's influence. Unraveled emails showed favors to officials. The judge ruled, charges dropped against Lena. Alex sentenced to a reform program. His father investigated for misuse of position. The school board overhauled new anti-bullying protocols. Independent oversight. Mandatory training in the aftermath. Ridgewood transformed. Lena returned a hero but reflective. "We won. But at what cost?" she asked her group during a park gathering. Scars lingered, suspensions expunged, but trust rebuilt. Slowly, her allies thrived. Tim started a tech club exposing injustices. Maria advocated for underrepresented voices. Jamal pursued studies in justice. Sophie designed community art projects fostering inclusion. Lena inspired, aimed for criminal justice studies, channeling her skills into teaching self-defense workshops. The mayor's fall led to town reforms, community programs, bridging divides, scholarships for underserved kids. Lena's dad beamed. "You didn't just fight. You led a revolution." As graduation neared, Lena addressed that assembly's strength isn't in conflict, it's in unity against wrong. Applause thundered, a far cry from her initial arrival. The story faded with Lena training a new generation, ensuring no one faced challenges alone. Renewal bloomed from reckoning, a testament to one girl's unyielding spirit. Meanwhile, the trial's echoes rippled outward. Media coverage spotlighted similar issues in neighboring towns, prompting audits and policy shifts. Lena fielded interviews, carefully emphasizing prevention over reaction. Document early, seek allies, use systems designed for protection but push. When they fail, her workshops grew popular. Students from other schools attending, learning not just moves but mindset, resilience, empathy, strategic thinking. Back at Brosha, Ridgewood, the changes took root. Hallways buzzed with positive energy. Clubs formed for peer support. Anonymous reporting apps implemented by Tim's club saw usage spike, leading to swift resolutions of minor disputes. Mr. Vargas promoted to advisor role, mentored faculty on spotting subtle signs of distress. Alex in his program reportedly reflected on his actions. Letters of apology sent, though met with skepticism by some but accepted by others as steps toward growth. His former followers scattered, some transferring, others reforming, joining community service to make amends. Lena's family celebrated her achievements, her mom hosting gatherings for the group, her dad organizing mock scenarios to keep skills sharp, but with a focus on de-escalation. Words can disarm as effectively as blocks, he taught. Now the group evolved into a network, alumni, staying connected via online forums, sharing updates on their paths. Maria landed a scholarship for advocacy work. Jamal interned at a local firm. Sophie exhibited her art in town galleries. Tim developed software for safe reporting nationwide. Lena pursued higher education, majoring in social policy, interning at organizations focused on youth empowerment. Her story inspired legislation. The Ridgewood Act proposed requiring schools to have transparent complaint processes and training for all staff. Debates in assemblies highlighted its importance, with Lena testifying remotely, drawing from her experiences to advocate for proactive measures. Months turned to seasons. The town's atmosphere shifted. Events like unity fairs brought diverse groups together, celebrating differences rather than dividing over them. Lena returned for visits, speaking at orientations for new students, sharing tips on navigating challenges. Build your support network. Early document interactions. Trust your instincts.